Hi there! Welcome to Bloodhouse, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkle.
And I'm your cult leader, co-hostess Drusilla Adeline. Welcome to the snowy summer episode of Bloodhouse.
I am so hot in this little room that I'm like steps away from taking off my shirt, but I won't subject you to that. But it is nice to think about a cold climate for this movie, even if I don't ever get to experience one. How are you?
I'm good. So I just got back from a trip. I went to Indiana with my partner to visit my family in my hometown, and then we stayed there for about a week, and then we took a rental car and drove 8 hours down to her family in South Carolina, and we had a really great time. So I just got back, and I don't know, it was really, really, really good. It was nice to show off my hometown and all my high school friends to my partner, and then go to her hometown, see her family, see all. It was a very good bonding trip.
Was that your first time to the South?
I lived in Florida.
Oh, okay.
For a few years, so no.
Northern Florida is oof. I lived there for a few years too as a kid.
It's something. I lived in Sarasota, which is
Sarasota's
Florida.
Quite nice.
It's much nicer. It's more like a retirement community, basically.
Yeah.
I lived there. My father currently lives there.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandparents used to live there. So every summer when I was growing up, my parents would stick my brother and I on a plane and just ship us down to our grandparents. Or as a family, we would drive down there. I also had an uncle who lived in Atlanta, so a lot of the time we would drive down to Atlanta, stay there, then drive down to Sarasota, stay there, and then drive all the way back. So it was fun to do that kind of drive again, but not make it about that part of my family that I don't
not
really
fighting
interact
with your brother in the back of a Chevy.
Yeah. Or my brother driving the car at 120 miles per hour through a rainstorm in Georgia is avoiding that's great. So Ivory is a stylist and I am, of course, a video fiend. So we stopped along the way to go thrifting as well. We did a lot of thrifting in South Carolina. We did a lot of thrifting in Indiana, but we also did a lot on the road. We planned out stops in Louisville, and we planned out stops in Knoxville, Tennessee, in Asheville, North Carolina.
Those are cool towns. Very underrated towns.
Louisville, underratedly gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to tell me I'm from Kentucky. I'm a Kentucky boy.
Great old churches.
Yeah.
We went to a really dope kind of thrift, vintage, and video store there, and bought a lot of VHS tapes and a couple laser discs. So between Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, and South Carolina, we brought back over 40 VHS tapes.
Wow.
We're psychotic. But it was really, really good. And while we were in Indy, I got to see one of my best friends in the whole wide world, who was the drummer in my old band that listeners may remember was named after the David Cronenberg movie Dead Ringers.
Dead Ringers.
We got to see them, and it was still during Pride, so there's a new kind of art theater in Indianapolis.
That's where I saw Babylon at Christmas.
That's where you saw Babylon?
When I was in Carmel.
That's great. It's called the Can.
Mm-hmm. It's cool.
It's very, very cool, and it's in a very kind of warehousey district of Indianapolis that's a bit more residential now, and it's super fucking cute. And they were doing a Pride series hosted by a drag queen that Ren had gone to college with. And they were showing Multiple Maniacs while we were in town.
So cool.
And so, we got to go see Multiple Maniacs in my hometown, which, it would have blown 15-year-old me's mind.
I'm sure, yeah.
It was so great. Ren had never seen a John Waters movie before.
Whoa, what a weird one to start with. But
What a
good
great one to start
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
They loved it. It was so fun because Ivory and I have seen that movie both a bunch.
Yeah.
And to like sit there and like turn over and like watch their reaction. Of course, Lobstora really
Quite a
pushed them over
surprise.
the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great time. I had a delight, and I watched a lot of good movies. One that I would really, really, really like to talk about is one I watched on the plane because I hate flying, and so I
Mhm.
always download movies. I was able to download one from the Criterion Channel that I've been meaning to see for a fat minute. From 2019 and from Canada, directed by the feature debut of Matthew Rankin,
Mhm.
who had been one of Guy Madden's assistants on a few of his like early 2000s
Oh,
movies.
Okay.
It's called The 20th Century.
Okay.
It is very much in the style of a Guy Madden film, and it is an almost entirely fictional biopic about Canada's longest running prime minister, William Lyon Mackenzie King,
Mhm.
and his search to becoming prime minister. It is fucking insane. It is so gorgeous and stylish and weird and funny and just brilliant, and I could watch it 5 times on a loop. I
Yeah.
highly, highly, highly recommend this movie. It is so fun. It is so funny. It like feels and looks super artsy, but it is super accessible. It is super weird. If you don't know anything about Canada or William Lyon Mackenzie King, perfect. Give it a watch. You will learn nothing about him. He was legitimately a weird guy. He would like hold seances to commune with his dead dogs.
Makes sense to me.
But yeah, like shit we would do. But the movie presents him as a like fetishistic boot sniffer
Ooh.
whose mother, played by Guy Madden regular Louis Nagin,
Mhm.
has prophetic dreams about his future and paints them into paintings, and his father is a simping little manservant, and a lot of the casting is gender blind, so a lot of women will play men and a lot of men will play women. There's some trans performers playing cis women. It is truly bad shit. It is outrageously beautiful. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It was released by Oscilloscope,
Mhm.
and they never miss, so.
They never do. They're really good. I have such funny, warm, sweet, nostalgic feelings about Guy Madden because I went to college at this tiny theater conservatory in Seattle called Cornish College of the Arts. And I was a theater major, an acting major. And so there's like 20 people in each class. And when I was a senior, Guy Madden made a film in Seattle called Brand Upon the Brain.
One of his best films ever.
Absolutely. And that movie took over my entire senior year because 2 of my classmates out of 20 were the stars of Brand Upon the Brain. He
Oh
cast
my
both
God.
classmates. So one was my roommate, Jake Morgan Sharon, who's a trans man actor. And Jake played 2 teenage twins. So he played a boy and a girl, twins. He was my college roommate. And then
The girl who dresses up as her brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the girl Maya Lawson was also in my class at Cornish. So like that movie, its production and its premiere just like took over our entire senior year. I remember flying to New York to go to the premiere, and it was done as like a traveling show with a live orchestra and different narrators. Like for a while it was Crispin Glover because it's a silent movie shot on Super 8. So sometimes the narrator would be Crispin Glover. When I saw it, it was Isabella Rossellini. They had a live, real life castrati, one of the last on Earth, singing. Castrati is like a eunuch who is castrated and prepubescent so that they have a soprano voice even though they're male. So they had a real life castrati singing, which is like such a rare, it was the coolest, weirdest thing, but it's like such a magical year. And I was only tangentially related to it, but like my college roommate was the star of that film, and it's so interesting.
That's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much. I have such a deep, deep, deep admiration and love for Guy Madden
beautiful.
and his
Beautiful
films.
movie. Yeah.
I saw Careful for the first time when I was in high school. That was the first one I watched. And I remember like the moment it even started, I was like infuriated because I was like, this is what I want to do. This is like the stuff in my brain.
Yeah.
This is the kind of movies I want to make. Who's already doing this? What the fuck? And I watched everything I could find.
There used to be something called the Northwest Film Commission, and they would give a filmmaker $100,000 to make a movie in Seattle. And so that's how Brand Upon the Brain was made. And also, what's her name? Oh, fuck. Mark Maron's partner who passed away a couple of years, Lynn, she's a TV
Lynn
director.
Shelton.
Lynn Shelton also got that my senior year. So my other friend, Amber Hubert, starred in her first movie, in her movie called We Go Way Back the same year. So like these filmmakers were like making these $100,000 movies and just like casting Cornish people. And so like all around me, everyone was like starring in these movies from these directors who are like iconic. And it's such a funny thing, a very short-lived thing. But
that's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
If you haven't yet, Kino Lorber just put out a new Blu-ray of Guy Madden's first movie, Tales from the Gimli Hospital.
Oh, that's such a cool movie.
It's so fucking good, and it's been like almost impossible to get for years.
Yeah.
So I'm now getting rid of my DVD because I just got the Blu-ray. But it's restored, and like they put scenes back in that he had cut out. So it's like a whole new version of the movie that's never been seen before. And it's freaking incredible. I love that movie so much. You would love the 20th century. It is Guy Madden in Technicolor, essentially. I don't want to like belittle Matthew Rankin by only comparing him to Guy Madden. He is like his own thing. He's doing his own thing. It is so freaking funny and so freaking weird. And if you listen to this podcast, you would love the 20th century. I immediately texted my ex who's Canadian and I was like, you need to fucking see this. And then like the next day they gave it like 5 stars on Letterboxd and we're like, yep, best movie of the year.
Can't wait to see it.
How have you been, Josh?
Ooh, I had a great week at the theater. So I saw a new mainstream movie that I really enjoyed called No Hard Feelings, which is a rated R sex comedy starring Jennifer Lawrence. It's very funny, very sweet. Not too raunchy, actually. I would have liked it to be raunchier. I think, I gave it 3.5 stars, and I would have given it 4 had it in the back half. In the back half, it doubles down on like sweetness and like feelings, and I would have liked it more if it had doubled down on like the raunchy sex comedy stuff. But it was so nice to see, first of all, a comedy of any kind in a movie theater. But second of all, like, I'm a child of the 80s, so I grew up on like hard R sex comedies and I really love them. And then we got a whole bunch of them in the 2000s as well, like 40-Year-Old Virgin and things like that. And I just like miss that genre. And now it's cool that like women and minorities are getting a chance to do them, but I'll take them any way I can get them. Like, I just want more raunchy hard R sex comedies. And, I really enjoyed it. And it's, great movie. Super fun. Nice to see Jennifer Lawrence again. It's been a long time.
She just did an A24 movie last year that was nominated for Oscars.
She did?
It's called Causeway. No one saw it!
Yeah.
No one watched it.
I don't know anything about that. But yeah, she did take a break for a long time. She was like, people are sick of... She literally said, people are sick of me. I'm going to go away for a while. And she was right. People really had turned on her in that Anne Hathaway kind of way where it's like, this girl's obnoxious. She's a phony. She's like pretending to be relatable and like us. And just people had it with her. And she went away and now we're ready for her again. And it's nice to see her. And it's just a really funny movie, especially the front half of it. The kid who stars alongside of her is so wonderful. I can't remember his name, but he was really charming. Matthew Broderick has a small part in it. It's really funny.
I miss Matthew Broderick so much.
It's great. It's really worth watching.
Cool.
Yeah. And then last night I went to the Secret Movie Club to see a double feature.
I love Secret Movie Club.
It was so cool. A double feature of Russ Meyer's Faster Pussycat Kill Kill and Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. And we watched them on Russ Meyer's own prints, his own 35mm prints lended from the Academy. So
that's so fucking cool.
It was really cool. Faster Pussycat I own Beyond the Valley of the Dolls and the Criterion. I feel like I've seen that one probably 10 times. That one's kind of easier to see. So that one wasn't as special as seeing Faster Pussycat, which is a lot harder to see. Mm-hmm. And it was a much better print than the Beyond the Valley of the Dolls print, weirdly, even though it's older. And for the first time, I've only seen it twice, both times on the big screen. And I saw its influence in so many movies. Like, watching Faster Pussycat last night, I was like, oh, this beat is in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
This part is in The Hills Have Eyes. This aesthetic I've seen in Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof or in music videos. And it's just like, I kind of forgot how influential it is. It just is so cool. And Tura Santana in that movie, the lead actress, like, who has ever looked that good in a movie before? She just looks so fantastic with her black leather driving gloves and her black jeans and her black hair. And just what a special movie and what a good time. I went with two people who'd never seen it and they both loved it. And great time.
I fucking adore Russ Meyer. We do not get enough love for Russ Meyer.
It's true. On a technical level, he was an exquisitely talented filmmaker. Yeah. Because he had been a war photographer. And something that I didn't know is if you've ever seen the movie Patton, which I have not,
I have not.
All of the war footage is Russ Meyer's war footage from World War II, because he was a war cinematographer, and that's how he learned the trade. And so, if you've seen Patton, you've seen Russ Meyer's work, even if you've never seen any of his actual movies. But he learned the craft, and we've talked about this in for other filmmakers. He learned the craft doing cinematography during the war, and then he came home and did industrials like the Carnival of Souls filmmaker, and especially when it comes to editing, Russ Myers is off the charts talented at editing.
Such an incredible editor.
Holy shit. So good and strange and unique. And I just deepened my love and appreciation for his work as a filmmaker.
Beyond the Valley is so incredible and amazing, and I love it so fucking much, and I rewatch it all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
But he did other movies at Fox. Like, that wasn't his only big budget studio movie. He also made The 7 Minutes. He made other stuff.
Yeah.
That's unavailable. Like, you could probably torrent some of those things. We don't recommend that you do that. Rent it legally, please.
I'm laughing because I suddenly...
If you have the option.
I'm laughing because I suddenly remembered the guy who introduced the movie last night, who's the director of Secret Movie Club. And he's like about my age, like early 40s. And he went to USC and he talked about interviewing Russ Meyer, like bringing Russ Meyer as a student to USC to do a talk. And he asked about, the fact that Roger Ebert wrote Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. And I guess Russ Meyer said, like, oh, that fat virgin from the Midwest or something like that about Roger Ebert. And told the story about how, like, Roger Ebert was a prude, so Russ Meyer would try to fuck with him. So, I mean, this is a very racy story, and it was a different time, of course. But he would have his secretary strip nude before Roger Ebert came into the room. So his, like, hot secretary would just be topless typing at her desk to shock Roger Ebert.
That's so goddamn funny.
So funny.
They were supposed to do... I mean... They were supposed to do another film together after Beyond the Valley, which Ebert had written, and he has since published that screenplay. But it was meant to star the Sex Pistols.
Ooh, what a great
Russ Meyer, Roger Ebert Sex Pistols movie. It obviously never happened.
That's a shame. I would pay anything to see that.
Yeah. That would have been fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I mean, listen, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, I think we can all agree, is the best thing that Roger Ebert has ever written.
Yeah, for sure.
Hands down. I believe he had some other career for the rest of his life doing something else with movies.
I don't think so. That doesn't sound right.
He doesn't have many other screen credits, so
I think
we can't find out.
He was an accountant, I think. Yeah. So anyways, speaking of Russ Meyer and craft, maybe we should talk about the movie of the day. This is a movie that neither Drusilla nor I had ever seen. Like we sometimes do, we use the podcast as an excuse to watch a blind spot movie, and this is one of them. From 2019, directed by Veronica Franz and Severin Fiala, we are discussing The Lodge.
So, how would you feel about going to the mountains for Christmas with Grace? She really wants to get to know you guys.
That's our mom's hat.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You okay? I don't want to leave you here with the kids if you're not feeling up to it.
I'm feeling fine. It was my idea, and it's a couple days. I can do a couple days.
Okay, guys, I'm off. Have fun.
What is that?
It's Grace.
Everyone committed suicide except for her.
Repent, and you will find salvation.
Guys! Things are very uncomfortable between us. Like, we're stuck in a house together.
So, you chose this movie, and I guess I just said it, like you hadn't seen it and you wanted to, so you used the podcast as an excuse.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Listen, I'd heard a lot about this movie.
Yeah.
It was released by Neon. It came out in the winter of 2019, which very quickly got snuffed away by the awfulness of 2020.
Yeah.
So I remember having gone to see The Invisible Man in theaters around that time. The Lee
That was the
Winnell
last
film.
movie I saw before the pandemic, I think.
It was the last new release I saw.
Yeah.
I would go on. Well, I think I saw Birds of Prey after that. So that's wrong. But I remember seeing trailers for The Lodge with it and being like, oh, that looks interesting. And I had friends go to see it a little bit before lockdown happened that were like, oh my God, The Lodge is so good. It's really scary. You should check it out. And then lockdown. So I didn't have a way to see it, and I kind of forgot about it. And it lived in the back of my head. And then, so Veronica Friends and Severin Fiala, before they made this movie, they made another movie called Goodnight, Mommy, which was a big kind of festival and art house horror hit when it came out when I was in college. It has just been remade into a TV show or like streaming movie in here
for
in
Prime.
the States for Prime, which is a choice.
Yeah, who needs that? I don't know.
I think Naomi Watts is in it.
Yes, that's correct.
Because apparently David Lynch isn't doing enough work to hire her for other things. And so it kind of got me thinking about them, and that brought me back to this movie, and I was like, oh yeah, let's give that a shot. Let's give that a watch. And you watched it before I did and texted me about it, and we're like, I'll be very interested to see what you make of it.
Well, let me do a quick synopsis, because I have a feeling once we start talking about it, it'll be hard to take a break and do the synopsis. So this is a movie where we get a little bit of Alicia Silverstone of Clueless fame. Not enough. We open with her. She is a mom of 2 children, a teenage boy and a younger girl, and she's getting a divorce, and she's very unhappy about it. And we only get glimpses of her ex-husband's new love interest. It's sort of like Poison for the Fairies or Los Espookys, where we just see like her shadow or like a little bit of her face and profile, things like that. So it seems ominous. And Alicia Silverstone is sending the kids off to her husband, and he asks to finalize their divorce. And this upsets her so much that she takes her own life. And so that's all we get of Alicia Silverstone. And then we're with the kids and their dad, and we meet his new love interest, who's played by Riley Keough, and her name is Grace. Grace is the survivor of a religious cult that offed themselves sort of Heaven's Gate style, and has, been living with some religious trauma for a number of years. And the dad is like a writer of essentially true crime books about things like this. So he's been writing about this cult. He met this woman, fell in love with her. She's going to be the kid's new stepmom. So he thinks it's a great idea for Christmas to send Grace who's dealing with religious trauma and survivor abuse, with these two kids to their winter house by the lake for Christmas. He's going to join them in a couple of days. So they get to the winter house. The kids hate Grace. They're kind of torturing her. They're icing her out. They're teasing her. And she's taking pills for her, not specific mental illness. And then one morning they wake up and all of their belongings are gone, including her pills, and things start to get more fucked up from there. And there's a bunch of twists and turns. And I don't know. I'm kind of losing my train of thought. Have I missed anything or?
That's right on the money.
Okay.
The father just kind of drops them up at the lodge at this like house in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
That apparently they spend winters at in the past. And it's like, okay, bye. I'll be back on Christmas.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, things just one day wake up and get weird. This movie is pretty recent, but I feel like we might have to spoil a few of the twists and turns to actually talk about it.
Yeah, we can spoil the whole thing.
Yeah.
People said that they want our spoilers, so we're good.
Good. This is going to be hard to talk about if we don't spoil it. So, from there, all of their phones are dead. All of the food is missing from the fridge. There seems to be canned goods. Mm-hmm. But all of their jackets are missing. All of her pills are missing. Her dog is missing. People who use doesthedogdie.com, unfortunately, yes.
Oh yes, that dog freezes to death. We see a frozen dog a few times.
A few times.
Yeah.
And they check the clocks, and the clock that has a date calendar kind of running on it says January 9th,
mm-hmm.
which is upsetting. And the young boy, who appears to be at least a teenager, he's older
Maybe
than his
like
sister,
13 or 14, like younger teenager.
It seems 14.
Like
played by
junior high.
Jaden Martell, who listeners might remember as the Nazi kid from Knives Out.
Really great young actor. Great in this movie.
He's always like just annoying enough.
Yeah.
Recounts the morning that they wake up and everything's like missing and all their phones are dead and stuff. Recounts a dream that he had where the gas heater that they'd brought up smoked out and they all suffocated and died. And now the house has no power. They have no phones to get in contact with anyone. All of their belongings and the food is missing. There's a massive snowstorm outside. They have no way to go outside. They have no jackets. They are stuck, and it appears to be now January and no longer December. So they begin to believe, or Riley Keough begins to believe, the kids begin to believe that they are dead and they are in purgatory.
Mm-hmm.
Riley Keough runs outside. And the kids stay behind because they think she's fucking crazy, to try and go walk out and get help. She meanders around a bit, finds a house that looks a lot like a freaking cross.
Yeah.
Which feels like the single most stylistic Ken Russell touch in the whole movie, and that I liked a lot. And then she finds tracks in the snow, follows them, and they lead her right back to the house with the kids. And out front of the house, she finds some belongings in the snow, one of which is a framed photo of the kids with a black ribbon on it that says "In Memoriam."
Yeah.
So it really, 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 really looks like these kids are dead.
Yeah, they've lost time. They're all dead, and it's like a couple of weeks later, and they're like somehow ghosts haunting this house, which is also purgatory.
Yes, there's an implication that their mother is haunting them. There's an implication that her father, who was raised her in this religious cult, is potentially haunting her. She hears his voice frequently in the movie, telling her to repent. The kids also end up finding like a funeral program.
Mhm.
For the three of them, that lists all of their death dates as 2019.
Yeah.
It's pretty unnerving and upsetting.
Yeah, and also somehow she decides that they all need to kill themselves in purgatory to move on to heaven or wherever. And this is when the children reveal to us, the viewer, that they have like faked this entire thing. They've hidden all of their belongings and they're just little shits. And this is a movie in the fuck them kids cinematic universe.
Yes, it is. They've hidden all their stuff down below. They hid like a Bluetooth speaker in the attic to play like her father's like ramblings from a religious sermon that was filmed.
And who knew that her not having her pills would end badly? Because now she wants to kill them so that they can go to heaven. And they're like, oops, we faked this whole thing.
And they hid all of their belongings, but not a gun, apparently.
Yeah. So you can imagine what happens next. That's basically the movie. I have some thoughts about this movie. I'll start with the positive. It looks really great, beautifully filmed. Although a lot of the aesthetic makes this movie live in the shadows of Hereditary, I think.
There's a dollhouse theme that is
straight out of Hereditary. Even the chic wood paneling on the walls, there's a lot of aesthetic here that Ari Aster created, let's be honest. But it does look
blue tint.
beautiful.
But with the blue tint.
Yeah, it's true. I think the performances are wonderful. Riley Keough is always, she's a great actor. Jaden Martell is great in this. The performances, I think, are really good. Alicia Silverstone deserves better, but she's very good in this.
I was so shocked when this movie started and it was Alicia Silverstone. I was like, I thought Riley Keough was in this. Yeah. And I was like, that looks like...
That's Cher Horowitz. Yeah, I love Alicia Silverstone. I felt like this movie, to me, it felt, being from 2019, it feels like the dying breath of the 2010s, quote unquote, elevated horror project. Like,
yes.
It's very slow. I would say it's boring. It feels too late, kind of. You know what I mean? It feels like a movie that's behind the times. Because it's a pale impression of the movies of this subgenre that work, like Hereditary, like Midsummer, like some of those movies. But it just doesn't work. The turns feel implausible to me. The tone, there's no variation. It's all one note, which is quiet, somber, boring, slow. Even a movie that's like deliberately paced, that makes you wait for things, works because there's variation in that pace. Like there's a character where people are having fun at dinner or something, but this movie is just like one flat note the whole way through. So I don't want to dump on this movie, but it just didn't land for me. How did you feel?
I enjoyed it. I think maybe a little bit more than you. I saw both of the twists coming pretty quickly. Again, knowing that these filmmakers made Goodnight, Mommy, and if you know, I'm not going to spoil the twist from that movie, but I was just kind of like, oh, are we doing a thing like that? And yeah, we were doing a thing like that.
Yeah.
Which listen, as a fan of the giallo genre, I am a gigantic fan of an elaborate gaslighting narrative.
Me too. I mean, my favorite movie is Rosemary's Baby.
Huge fan of, let's make this person think she's crazy.
Let's scare Riley Keough to death.
Let's scare Riley Keough to death. I love that. Yeah. I, especially, these two fucking kids being like, fuck this lady. We don't want her to be our stepmom. Let's make her, But at a certain point, I would start siding with Riley Keough because I'm like, this lady just has PTSD.
Yeah, fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids.
Truly.
She, has this, very sweet moment where the daughter's like, I want a dog for Christmas, but my dad says I can't have a dog. And Riley Keough was like, well, my dad wouldn't allow me to have a dog because he wouldn't allow me to have any presents. And so the first thing I got for myself once I was free of all of that was I got myself this dog, and I love him so much, and he's like a symbol of this new life that I get to have for myself, and I get to be this new person, and I get to take care of this thing, and I get to prove my father wrong in all these ways. And then these kids are like, nope!
Yeah.
We're gonna take all that away.
Yeah.
The first sign of trouble for me, with this, though, was that, so the night before things start to turn bad, they all kind of like come in from the cold and like watch a movie on the couch together, and they're watching The Thing, like John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh yes, I saw a Letterboxd review about that. It was like, if I was making a winter horror movie, I would simply not show footage from the best winter horror movie ever made. Like,
yeah,
bold choice.
It's a bold choice. One of the, like, I don't know. I don't like film school. I'm not pro film school. I had a bad time at film school. I feel like I learned more from watching other movies than I did from attending film school. But don't listen to me. But one of the biggest rules I was taught in film school was like, if you're going to put part of a movie in your movie, or if you're going to put up a poster for another movie in your movie, you better goddamn make sure it is not leagues better than your movie, because instantly the audience will be like, well, I just want to watch that.
Yeah.
Like, if you are making a schlocky, I'm not calling this movie schlocky, I'm just saying as an example, if you're making or if you're making like a low budget indie family drama, and then you cut to Kramer versus Kramer on the TV,
Right. Yeah.
you're undercutting yourself.
Yeah.
Pretty severely. That's why, and we've talked about this on other episodes, a lot of movies, when characters are watching a horror movie on TV, it's usually A Night of the Living Dead or Carnival of Souls.
Something public domain and old.
Because those are public domain, they're old, and they're like, you know, can be seen as masterpiece. They're seen as being good by a lot of people, but they're at least seen as being like older and hokier, so like there's a like disconnect.
Yeah.
They had to pay good money to put The Thing in this.
I bet.
They had to license that from Universal. We should also note that The Lodge is a British production.
Yes, it's Hammer.
It's produced by Hammer Films.
Love that.
Love that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a contemporary film produced by Hammer since The Lady in Black with Daniel Radcliffe.
The Right One In, or Let Me In, may have been.
Oh, the Let Me In remake.
I think maybe that was one.
Interesting. I haven't
Can't
seen
remember.
that still. Curious. I fucking love that Hammer is still
Love it.
making stuff, and I totally freaking love that Hammer gave a green light to the directors of Goodnight Mommy, and we're able to get Riley Keough and Alicia Silverstone, and like, banger.
Yeah.
Awesome. And again, these kids are
Really good actors. The kids' performances are really good.
the daughter breaks down a couple times.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's very believable. One of the most upsetting scenes is very, very early on. After Alicia Silverstone takes her own life, there's a funeral. There's a lot of foreboding cross imagery in this movie.
Mhm.
Alicia Silverstone takes her own life with a cross on the wall behind her that is very quickly splattered with blood.
Yeah.
And then her funeral has a very weird ceremony that I've never seen take place at a funeral, with a like releasing of black balloons.
Well, here's the thing that I was going to say about this director is this movie is just chock full of moments like that one that are designed to look cool, but are kind of hollow to me. Like the
Yeah.
plastic turkeys at Thanksgiving dinner, and just
Yeah.
like, you just thought this would look cool, and that's very obvious.
And they do. Well, same thing with like the big like house that looks like a cross that Riley Keough finds later.
Yeah.
It just looks cool. It doesn't do much. And when you're talking about, you know, religious fundamentalism and religious trauma, a cross is a very potent image.
Yeah.
There's other images.
Yeah.
There's more past that we're not getting. But the daughter that night or a little bit later is inconsolable with grief in her bed, and the father, played by Richard Armitage, who I mostly know as being the shithead ex-boyfriend art dealer from Ocean's 8.
I don't know if I know him from anything. I couldn't.
He appears to have been in the Hobbit movies, but I've not
I
seen
haven't
the
seen
Hobbit
those.
movies. So I only know him as playing like lame dudes who suck. And in this he plays
Here it is again.
a lame dude who sucks. And he's like just stroking his daughter's back like blissfully. He's just like kind of giving that he's annoyed that she's crying. He doesn't express much grief over the death of his now ex-wife.
Yeah.
Which, my man, you are married to Alicia Silverstone. The fact that she's dead in any universe should be sad. But the daughter's inconsolably crying and keeps saying, "Mommy can't get into heaven now."
Yeah.
Like, that's so fucked up.
Yeah.
That's religious trauma.
But
Like,
where does that come from? Because I didn't get the sense that the characters are very religious.
we don't get much of that. However, Jaden Martell wears throughout the movie a religious necklace that Alicia Silverstone wore that she
Right.
took off before she took her own life.
Yeah.
And again, she has a cross hanging on
Behind
the wall
her
when
in
she
the
takes her
house.
behind. But it feels kitschy. It doesn't feel like super.
It doesn't feel lived in and truthful. To the
Yeah,
characters.
it looked that cross there on the wall feels like something that was hand sewn. It looks it's not like, you know, a wooden cross with Jesus on it. It's in the shape of a cross,
Yeah.
but it looks more like some like embroidery that like your grandmother would have made that you hung up to be like, I miss my grandma.
Well, same with the painting in the movie that seems to be
Mhm.
haunting Riley Keough's character. It looks like a Renaissance painting. The paint is cracked, and it's like, what house has this painting hanging in it? It doesn't feel believable in that house. It doesn't feel like a painting that those people would own. I've never seen a painting like that in my life.
All of the houses in this movie, so there's Alicia Silverstone's house, the father's house, and then the lodge, essentially. They're all very, like, upscale. This is
Very
a wealthy
upscale.
family.
Yeah.
I mean, the father is, like, true crime writer, and it looks like he's successful. And they're very clean, minimalist houses.
Very Hereditary.
They're very sleek. The father's house that we see a few times has these big windows, and it's, like, kind of elevated above this, like, wood-paneled garage. It looks very, very modern and very, very expensive. I don't know. The majority of this whole movie, I was also not on top of having a fuck them kids moment. I was also having a bit of a class warfare moment of being like, fuck them rich kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought about that. I mean, this is discussed ad nauseum to the point that it's a little bit boring, but like the way that Gen X was raised compared to millennials or Zoomers, where it's just like I literally like left the house when the sun came out and
Mhm.
came home when the sun went down. Nobody asked me any questions about my day or where I went. I don't think my parents ever asked me a single question in my entire childhood. Like, do you want to do this? Do you want this? Would you like that? Like, so the fact that the dad is like, is it okay if we have Grace over for Christmas or whatever? It's just like so implausible to me because I was just like given instructions from sunup to sundown if my parents noticed me at all. And like, that's the way that my entire generation was raised. It's just like, go outside and play. We'll see you at night. And like,
Yeah.
that's it.
I mean, I'm technically a different generation.
Yeah.
This dad reminds me a lot of my dad to a degree in terms of just being like very disconnected from his children and his family.
Yeah.
Like, it's very clear that he left his wife for this woman
Yes. Who's
that he
much
was
younger
working
than
with.
him or
who's
Alicia Silverstone.
much younger than Alicia, at least 20 years younger than Alicia
Yeah.
Silverstone, I think. Or at least 10. And he's so disconnected with his kids, and he like he asks the kids if they want Riley Keough to spend Christmas with them, just them. He is
Yeah.
not going to be there for the majority of it.
Yeah.
At Thanksgiving dinner, before while they're setting the table before she's arrives for Thanksgiving dinner, and the kids are like, why? Like,
Yeah.
she's just your girlfriend who we don't like. our mom just died.
Yeah.
This is
They do have a
weird.
point.
And they have a fucking point. And the dad just gets like exasperated and he's like, ugh, we're gonna get married. So I was gonna tell you later. Ugh, you ruined the surprise. Like, ugh. And I'm like, you say that before you invite her to the Christmas thing. You tell your kids like, hey, we're engaged, we're gonna get married. But also like, my man, if your kids fucking hate this woman, don't get married. Also, he got engaged to her before he was fully divorced from Alicia fucking Silverstone.
Yeah. Because of that, I found her character really unlikable from the moment that she showed up.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a problem because she's the main character, but she showed up and I've only been getting like I said, sort of Los Espookys styles, like little flashes of her profile or things like that. So to me, she shows up as a villain, but she's the main character of the movie because she's a homewrecker, which not to be, I'm not a sanctimonious person when I watch movies. So it's not like I can't like a homewrecker, but it kind of sets her up in a weird way as a protagonist.
The first 30 minutes of this movie set her up as the antagonist.
Yeah.
And then we get to the lodge and she becomes the protagonist.
Right.
And then it switches again and she becomes the antagonist again.
Yeah.
It's funky.
It is a little strange. I'm okay with that. I think you could do that really well. I just don't think they did do that really well.
For this one, I just feel like it undercuts itself in a way that is a disservice. A friend of mine who's a filmmaker, who's also directed a pretty freaking good Christmas horror movie about a family set in a house, really likes this movie a lot. Mm-hmm. His name's Josh Lobo, and he directed a movie called I Trapped the Devil, which is very good.
Yeah,
highly recommend it. He loves this movie, and he described it as bleakness porn. Mm-hmm. And he's in like a positive, as like an aspect of this movie. And this movie is properly bleak. This movie is about three characters stuck in a house together that are all traumatized. These young kids who are going through a fucking ordeal after the sudden suicide of their mother and stuck with the person that their mother flat out blamed for her suicide.
Yeah.
Who is a person that has her own mountain of trauma and PTSD, also around suicide and murder, related to her own father. And all of this is kind of tied and congealed together around religious trauma. So it is fucking properly bleak.
Yeah.
In the scene with the thing, Riley, like, I was very surprised that the young daughter was watching the thing, and I was like, why are they doing this to this kid? Did Riley Keough put this on? That's so weird. But then you find out that the kids are into it.
Yeah. Kids love
and
scary
Riley
movies.
Keough is like, can we change it? And the next cut, she's put on Jack Frost with Michael Keaton.
It is a bleak movie. For me, I think, if I'm in the mood for something like this, I would reach for Hereditary, which is like a similar aesthetic, similar vibe, and is at least 3 times better than this movie. It's like I wouldn't reach for a GoBot when I have Transformers.
Fair. I feel like I think of this movie more in the context of like post-cult religious trauma kind of movie. Mm-hmm. And if I was in the mood for something like that, I would reach for another movie we've covered on this podcast, The Invitation, by Karen Kusama.
I love that movie, yeah.
Which is also, a handful of characters in a house in one location, with a background of religious trauma and threat to a degree, and a lot of question as to a kind of a gaslighting idea behind it that has a lot of tension and is, I think, very well paced. Yep. My problem with the launch is that for so much of it, just nothing happens. Mm-hmm. There's one point where we reach a point where it's like, okay, now what? The kids are like revealed their scheme. Riley Keough's just sitting on the front porch.
Yep.
What happens now? And they just cut to the dad elsewhere, and he's like, haven't heard from you kids, I'm coming up. And I was like, oh, okay.
They worked themselves into a corner, basically.
Yeah, that happens. Also, like, it takes a while before what I feel like the main plot and events of this movie happen, which are them being stranded without power, food, and things like that. That's like halfway into the movie.
Yeah, I agree. I think this a rewrite of this screenplay, like if you hired someone to do a polish, if you hired like one of these screenplay doctors, I think that they would have started at the characters arriving at the lodge.
I think that Alicia Silverstone wouldn't have even been in the movie, which a detriment because she's incredible.
Which is great.
The character of that mother, I think, wouldn't have even been in the film, and then that would have been revealed through dialogue hinted at elsewhere throughout the movie. And maybe it could have like exploded in the tension between the kids and her.
Speaking of like screenwriting and literary devices, what about her mental illness, like her unspecified mental illness, which is conveniently a vehicle to doing whatever you want in the movie as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I don't want to be sanctimonious about it, but it's also like it could have been good to pick something specific and then
it could. I mean, here's the thing. She flat out has PTSD.
Yes.
100%.
But that doesn't, PTSD doesn't give you hallucinations and, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like making you sleepwalk every night and have hallucinations and LSD flashbacks.
Has psychotic breaks throughout this film. And by psychosis, I just truly mean
Literally
seeing things
psychosis.
that are not there.
Yeah.
So, and there's a point in the beginning of the movie where the kids are like, we don't want to stay with that psychopath. And the dad's just like, who told you she's a psychopath? Like, he says it less like, how dare you say that about my girlfriend? And more like, who told?
I see. So you're saying it actually is specified, and I just kind of didn't notice it. Which
Potentially. It's hard to tell. It's in the subtlety of the performance. But, you know, there's the unspecified pills that keep her level.
Right.
That then get taken away, and without her, it just seems convenient. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, it is. It's a literary device, which is fine. I think that's fine. It's just something that I noticed, and I wondered if this were more specific, would it be better? Because usually specificity is good.
We also get another literary device pretty damn early on in this movie of Chekhov's gun.
Yeah,
because the opening credits are like in the like dollhouse or maybe in the lodge of the dollhouse, which is what a dollhouse is of, and we see a gun like in like super macro close up at one point before the movie starts, and then other than the kind of cult mass suicide that kind of happens in the background before the events of the film, all of the violence and death that follows is at the hands of gun violence. Which, you know, we could be saying something about guns in the home.
Yeah. Could be.
Listen, we're not.
I don't want to shit on this movie. I hope we haven't done that. I know that people are listening to this that probably love this movie. It didn't land for me. It landed for Drusilla, I think, a little bit more than me. So if you love this movie and you came here to hear us gush about it, I'm sorry. I tried to be as nice as I could. But yeah. With that said, let's pivot and play our favorite game, Have They Seen It?, where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this movie. I don't have a single person in mind. Let me just bring up my Rolodex of celebrities.
Well, I have one.
Okay.
So this movie, Riley Keough's character is a child of religious trauma, which is also not something that's in the marketing of the movie. The marketing of the movie is just like spooky cabin, creepy, arty horror movie. That's it.
Which is good because you don't know what it is. Like, is it a home invasion? Is it a haunting? It could be anything.
Exactly. So that's not in the marketing at all. There's like little crosses in the title treatment, and on one, there's a poster with the snowflake that kind of falls down into an inverted cross with like blood, which is a very dope poster. So it's like very subtly hinted at only in the print campaign. So a lot of people going to this movie probably wouldn't have known that. And I mean, don't think I really knew that until I watched it.
I didn't.
So do you think Stephen Jones Stephen Jones, the adopted son of Jim Jones, the cult leader, has seen The Lodge.
Oh gosh, I hope not.
I really hope not. I
Is
feel
he
like
a normal person? Is he just somebody who's like in the world trying to live his life and like live down this horrible thing?
yes, he
Yeah.
is.
God, I hope not.
He's just living a life out like on a home in like Northern California.
Boy, oh boy. I hope that he doesn't like
He's
horror
written
movies.
multiple articles being like, my father was a piece of shit. I am scarred and he fucking sucks. I really hope he hasn't seen this movie.
I mean, talk about needing a trigger warning. Like, if anyone needs a trigger warning, it's him.
It's a very specific trigger warning.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, at least with, like, The Sacrament, the Ty West film,
You
that's
know what you're
very
getting
up
into.
front.
Yeah.
And so he could be like, nope. I, you know, would be very worried if Stephen Jones was, like, flipping through HBO Max and was like, The Lodge, let's give this a shot. I feel like he would turn it off, like, 10
I think
minutes in
so
when that
too.
happened.
Absolutely. It's the first hint of that he would turn it off. I never hope this about people, but I truly hope that he doesn't like horror movies so that he'll just never accidentally watch this. I usually am in favor of people liking them, but in this case, I hope not.
If you're listening to this episode, Stephen Jones, and you even got this far, like, listen, there's some really fun Peter Bogdanovich movies out there. You would like What's Up, Doc?
Targets even is fine.
No.
For you, probably.
Highly recommend maybe some Cary Grant movies. Bring Me a Baby is a hoot. Check out The Philadelphia Story. Maybe not Arsenic and Old Lace.
Mm-hmm. How about Bell Book and Candle? Is
Bell
that
Book and Candle, a delight. Highly, highly recommend.
I have somebody in mind. This person is like a contemporary of Riley Keough, and I thought of her, I guess, because of her involvement in, a big 2010s quote-unquote elevated horror movie, the remake of Suspiria. Do you think Dakota Johnson saw The Lodge?
Oh, I think that Dakota Johnson loved The Lodge.
You think?
I think Dakota Johnson saw it, like, if not at the LA premiere, then, like, in theaters. I think she, like, really dug it. I get the impression that Dakota Johnson, like, digs horror films, and is very into, especially at the time, into that contemporary cycle of the Neon A24 quote-unquote elevated horror sphere, which, a lame definition, but I think she thinks it's super fun.
Okay.
I think
I
not
that.
fun, but I think she's into it. Again, like, her grandmother was in The Birds. Like,
true. Yeah, it's true.
What do you think?
I could buy that. I also just don't. I don't know. I feel like there's a world where she's like David Lynch and she just like doesn't really like movies that much.
I can see that.
I feel like she might be one of those people who's like, I'm really more into like reading or art or music than I am movies.
I could see that. From what I've heard, Melanie Griffith and Tippi Hedren and her are all very close. And from what I've heard, Melanie Griffith and Tippi Hedren love movies and watch movies a lot. So,
do you know what that means? I've never put this together in my head, but that means that Dakota Johnson has spent time at Shambhala, the Wild Animal Reserve, which is the location of 1981's Roar, a movie that I wish we could talk about. I don't think it really fits into our category, but that is wild and insane and delightful to think about.
Well, I'm thinking about the other cast members of The Lodge and Jaden Martell, who plays the older son in the film, who does a very, very, very good job in this. He did a few other horror movies of note, including Andy Muschietti It, the update of the Stephen King novel. He was in It, and he was in It Chapter 2. And in It Chapter 2, he was portrayed by, the older version of the character was portrayed by Bill Hader, and he would eventually go on to be the series finale of Bill Hader's show Barry, playing his son grown up. So my question is, do you think Bill Hader has seen The Lodge?
I don't think so. Gut instinct.
Really?
I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't think so. I don't
Bill
know.
Hader is a big like TCM like Criterion kind of guy.
Yeah, like he does documentary now. I do see him as a
Mhm.
film buff. I understand that about him.
Massive film buff.
But I don't see
Saw an interview with him
this.
recently where he was talking about watching like some like 40s like really really like not famous 40s film noir while his like teenage daughters or younger were having like a sleepover with all their friends.
Mhm.
And he was like, yeah, then all the kids like came up to get a glass of water and saw I was watching something and they all like slowly came in and joined and got like hooked
That's cool.
to find out like, oh, are they gonna make it? Like, is it tense? And I was like, that's fun and that's cute. Your kids don't enjoy those things. I promise you they don't, sir. They're being polite.
Yeah.
But that's very cute. I feel like maybe he's seen The Lodge. I know he's a horror guy. I know he loves Evil Dead. And a lot of stuff like that. And of course, you know, he was in It Chapter 2.
That's a paycheck, though. That doesn't mean he like loves being in it, or you know.
True. That's true. I don't know. He probably hasn't, but I think he would enjoy it, especially like as the filmmaking of The Lodge. I think is very similar to the filmmaking that Hader is doing in Barry. And if he hasn't seen it, Jaden needs to get on his case.
Yeah.
Get him to watch it.
Well, why though? I don't think he would like it if he saw it.
You don't think Bill Hader would like The Lodge?
No, neither of us liked it. We're both smart, cool people. Why should Bill Hader like it?
Fair.
I'm being mean now. I should take that back.
I think he would enjoy it from a like craft perspective.
I'll tell you this. I think he's nicer than both of us. I feel like he would be more generous with it than we are.
Also fair.
Let's stay at HBO. So I am now starting season 3 of my favorite current HBO show, Righteous Gemstones. Which
Oh
is
my god, I can't wait to start it.
the best.
Wait, which quickly films in Myrtle Beach in and around South Carolina.
Yes.
And while we were down in South Carolina visiting Ivory's parents, they were like, they go to the beach all the time because they're like retirees who have a camper and they like drive out there a lot. And they were like, yeah, last year we were at the beach and they were like filming something. And so we went to look to see what it was. And it was this religious show or something. And John Goodman was there and we were like, Gemstones.
Yeah. So, yes, David Gordon Green, in fact, has moved there permanently, has started this whole production scene there. So he's trying to make it like Atlanta or Vancouver, where it's just like this
Sick.
production hub. Like the new Halloween movies were filmed there. It's a whole thing that he started. But I love Righteous Gemstones. My favorite character is Judy Gemstone, played by my dog's namesake, Edie Patterson. Do you think Edie Patterson, who plays Judy Gemstone, has seen The Lodge 2019?
Oh god, no. Fuck no.
No, there's no way.
Edie Patterson gives me the vibe of like does not watch horror movies, and how
Me too.
dare you recommend horror? Like she gives me the vibe of the last horror movie she saw was The Silence of the Lambs in theaters. Like
You're probably right.
Yeah.
She's so funny. Like there's a
she's
scene
so goddamn funny.
in season 1 of Righteous Gemstones where she's like having a heart to heart with her husband, who she may be divorcing, and it's taking place at an Outback Steakhouse. And she tells this like really long monologue. It's a sentimental story. Or it's played like one where she tells a story about falling in love with her professor in college,
Yeah.
buying him a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and then kidnapping his son from school and taking him to the beach. And then her husband stands up and is like, "Good day, Judy," because they're at Outback. It's just the funniest, most incredible monologue ever. So you're a no on Edie Patterson.
Well, I listen to a lot of Brett Goldstein's podcast, Films to be Buried With, and he, of course, is a big horror fan, but he has a lot of comedians on.
Yeah.
Because before Ted Lasso was a stand-up, and it's still a stand-up. Like every single comedian that comes on that podcast is like, I don't like horror movies. I don't get horror. Like, why would anyone like that? And I'm like, So that gives me the same thing. Danny McBride, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
Huge horror dude, wrote all the Halloween movies.
Yeah.
But she gives me the vibe of like, no, not for me.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for The Lodge 2019. If you liked this, please rate it wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at BloodhousePod. You can email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. Drusilla, where are you these days?
You can find my work over at sisterhidedesign.com. There's new stuff up there. Go check it out. You can also find me at Hide Sister on Instagram. The Criterion Barnes & Noble sale is currently going on, so you can buy a lot of my stuff half off right now. You can go to your local Barnes & Noble and find copies of After Hours or Targets or The Elephant Man or Menace to Society or Chana's Missing. Go get them. Now is the time. Especially go check out Targets. Not enough people have seen Targets. I assume everyone's going to buy After Hours, so that's good and great and fine.
Yeah.
Josh, what about you? Where are you lurking these days?
I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, and now Blue Sky. I'm trying
What's Blue Sky? I've never heard of this.
New Twitter. You have to be invited, so there's like no one there yet. But maybe someday. Joshua Conkle. And while we're plugging stuff, listen, my film He Watches is going to be at Outfest here in LA, which is huge, on July 20th at 9:45 in a block of queer horror shorts.
Hell yes!
Yeah, Outfest is a biggie. It's a big moment for me. Drew, what are we watching next week?
Next week, we are continuing an inadvertent theme that we started with The Lodge. We are going to be watching another film by a female director. We are going back to the 1980s to the queen of punk rock cinema, Penelope Spheris, who listeners may know from Decline of Western Civilization and Wayne's World, for her film, The Boys Next Door.
I'm very curious to see what you think of that movie. All right, thank you. Bye.